TNT title triple threat. Samoa Joe becoming a double champion, already the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, now a double champion, is the new AEW TNT Champion, beating Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, triple threat. Good Hoss match. I mean, it kind of felt like a television match, overshadowed by everything else on the show. Did not like that Hobbs was just an afterthought here. Not that he had a lot of momentum. I mean, he lost to Ricky Starks in that feud-ending match about a month or so ago, so it's not like he was riding a wave of momentum here, but, you know, he was only in the match to take the pin. That was really why he was here. And I honestly would not have an issue with Wardlow taking the pin here. If it was a singles match or whatever, I mean, it's not like he's undefeated. And he's also cooled off a lot. You know, we were both kind of surprised, I think, because I know last week I said Hobbs was going to win. You said Wardlow would and should retain, but actually Joe emerged victorious as the champion. Now, I love Joe. I think Joe will do well in the role, assuming he holds the title for more than 2 weeks. Kind of weird they have both belts on it, but it's not like the Ring of Honor one means much anyway. But, yeah, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, I'm not really sure. Hobbs, I assume, is out of the question. Do you do Hobbs and Joe? Hobbs is a heel, so I don't really know. I'm kind of confused coming out of this and where they go from here.
Yeah, I didn't love this. I mean, I thought it was a good match. You said a good, like, big guy match. But, well, I mean, Powerhouse was a complete afterthought, which is kind of upsetting. I mean, like you said, he's coming out of a feud that he didn't even win. But, I don't know, when he came after Wardlow, I feel like they were kind of maybe pushing him, or he looked a little bit more serious than he did. And then Wardlow didn't technically lose, but then Joe got both belts. I don't love that, because now we're probably going to get Joe and Wardlow for the belt. And, I mean, I think, why would you protect him here if he's just going to lose to Joe one-on-one? So, I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe they just did change the belts and Wardlow will win it right back from Joe. But, I don't know. I thought he should have just kept the belt on Wardlow and keep his momentum going. I feel like his momentum's definitely slid, because after he won the belt and after he broke away from MJF, they did he's fighting with Mark Sterling and then the Bodyguards. And he's kind of been in miscellaneous programs. He did the whole stupid Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt thing, and then he was kind of directionless, put him with Powerhouse, and now with Joe, and then he fell, and I don't know, like, he cooled off because the booking just cooled him off. Like, the booking itself cooled him off. He cut that dumb promo, like, oh, you guys are saying that my reign hasn't been good, or I've lost my momentum. Well, yeah, you have, because the booking's terrible, and literally, once he broke off from MJF, it was like, yeah, he won the belt, but his booking and his popularity went down the tubes because he didn't do anything.
No, exactly, and that was the thing, too. I forgot about that promo until you mentioned it, but he cut that promo about a month or so ago, and where did it lead? Samoa Joe kicked his ass. I mean, it went nowhere. Samoa Joe kicked his ass and took his title. He just looks like an idiot. Not a loser, because he hasn't lost anything. I mean, he didn't even get pinned in this match, but, you know, Ali's a loser on Raw. He loses a lot. Wardlow, by my definition of the word loser, is not a loser, but still, he looks like an idiot. He cut this promo, I'm not going to be overshadowed, and then he gets, what? He gets overshadowed. So, listen, I love Joe. The issue isn't Joe, and the Hobbs thing is what it is, I guess. My question now, I guess, is where the fuck do you go from here? I mean, I guess Final Battle's in mere weeks, and like I said, they really don't have a lot of time to hype up the show. Thankfully, to Tony Khan's credit, I would assume they've already been gradually building a couple matches for that show, even before Full Gear. They quickly kicked off the Athena Mercedes Martinez build on Rampage last week. Not a lot of hype behind it, but that's probably the direction they're going in. That's fine with me. I think that's going to be a very good match. Like, for example, they had teased a while ago, I mean, FTR have been feuding with the Gun Club. I really fucking hope they're not doing FTR and the Gun Club at Final Battle. Not that many more people care about this team, but the Kingdom. The Kingdom teased a while ago, oh, we want our rematch of the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. We never got it after we lost to the Briscoes last year. Cool. That would be a better match to me, a more appealing attraction for that show. So you have that. And probably Wardlow and Joe, like I said. I mean, they've already been feuding, so if Joe's the Ring of Honor TV champion, maybe Wardlow goes after that belt. I don't know why he would take the Ring of Honor TV title. That's a little weird, I guess. But do you use this as an opportunity to get him away from that? Honestly, that title is fucking... It's just cursed. I mean, I think that's been pretty obvious in the last year or so. We had a lot of very good champions. Even Brody, when he held it for a month, had a very good reign. I mean, Wardlow had a very forgettable reign. Scorpio, to even get me started. Sammy was just not good towards the end there. That whole feud sucked. The title's been complete trash for all of 2022, let's face it. So, do you use this as an opportunity to get him away from that and maybe go further up the ladder and maybe go after MJF at some point? Is he the one to beat MJF for that championship, or do you think that's comical at this point?
I mean, I think anything's possible, but like you said, I mean, I think the booking of the title has been cursed just because I feel like anytime anyone's gone, it's kind of either they've lost steam or like just like they're just never on TV or just not doing anything of note. So, I mean, I think breaking him off the belt, I feel like if you break him away from the belt and he does his own thing, I feel like you'd have to push him right to MJF, I would assume. I mean, what else would you do with him? He's going to go after the Ring of Honor belts? I don't think anyone would care. And I think it'd be too soon to do him and MJF unless MJF's going to beat him, which I think if anyone's going to beat MJF at this point, it should be him. So I really don't know. I would have, like I said, I would have kept the belt on him, but maybe, like I said, maybe they just did a shock win and he'll win it back at like Final Battle or something. But I don't think anyone would. I don't think taking the belt off him just to put it back on him will make anyone care more about him.
No, I don't think taking the belt off of Wardlow and then putting it back on him. I feel like this company, for as many talented people as they have on their roster, when he was champion, Wardlow was, they had this issue with the mid-card where he was only facing Ari Daivari and Tony Nese and people like that, fucking Ryan Nemeth and whoever. Like, he's not actually having, I guess the TNT title, I would love to know in Tony Khan's opinion, is this like an actual... I know they don't like the term mid-card title, but like, is it an actual title for like feuds, or is it a title for like, again, I know it's a TV title, I get that, but like, you can still have feuds, and we're getting that now with Wardlow and Joe, but before that, like Scorpio and Sammy was a feud, I guess, but it was terrible, no one gave a shit, and everyone involved in that feud is either worse off or not even on the show right now, aside from maybe Ethan Page. I don't know, it's weird, the title has just not meant a lot. And I just don't think it's doing Wardlow any favors. They also have the problem of, like, they don't want to beat people. So, like, for example, I was going to say they could do Wardlow and Jay Lethal, but I forgot they did do that feud when he was champion a couple months ago. And, again, no one really cared. But, like, they don't want to beat other people. So, like, you can do Wardlow and Orange Cassidy, which they did. And that was, Orange Cassidy lost. And I think that makes sense. I feel like we need more of that for the TNT title, where it's actual mid-card people going for the title. And it's not just underneath people challenging, on Rampage once in a while, which is a complete waste of time and no one cares.
No, I completely agree. It needs actual feuds for people to care about the belt.
Listen, I think if they do Joe and Wardlow at Final Battle, cool. Whoever wins, it doesn't really matter at this point, I think. Wardlow getting the belt back, just whatever. But listen, I think if they did, for example, like Joe, if he holds on to the title, maybe he drops the Ring of Honor title to Wardlow. I don't really know what that would accomplish if he just switched titles, but whatever. I think if they do Joe in someone like a Jungle Boy, for example, I think that would be really cool. Or, Darby, I'm kind of all set in him being in the TNT title picture. Been there, done that a ton. But I feel like Jack Perry is a prime example of someone that could be in that picture and really benefit, win, lose, or draw. He's a prime example of someone that should be chasing that championship. Again, not the Daivaris and the losers of the Dark World, for example.
No, yeah, but like you said, I think at the end of the day, Tony's like afraid of those people losing. Like, yeah. What would Jungle Boy really lose at the end of the day if he faced Wardlow in a TNT title match and came up a little bit short?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, for example,
yeah. Like I said, he's so afraid of people losing that he thinks he's going to mess up their booking that he faces the Ari Daivari and the Tony Nese and the people that no one cares about. So that's why no one cares about the belt, because no one that's worth going for the belt is fighting for the belt. I mean, it's just like it'd be like if the Super Bowl, if you had the worst teams in the NFL playing in the Super Bowl just to have them play in the Super Bowl, like eventually the game wouldn't matter that much because people that are in it don't deserve to be in it anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's
like if on Raw every week Rollins put the U.S. title up against Akira Tozawa and name insert jobber every week, like, no one would care because it wouldn't mean anything.
No, exactly.
The belt are contending for it.
That's the exact case I was going to bring up, not to compare it to other companies, but like in WWE, not to say they haven't done that before, but at least lately, the U.S. Championship has been defended amongst like solid either mid-carders or upper-carders. I mean, Rollins is a main eventer, no doubt, but like Lashley's in the mix. Ali's a loser, and it's like Ali getting a title shot right now. He's done nothing to deserve it, who cares? But you got Theory in there and people like that. He's been a loser, but he's on the rebound, thankfully. Like, for example, we saw Finn Balor beat Edge at Extreme Rules. Big win for him. He went on to face Rollins for the U.S. Championship last week and lost. Did that ruin his booking? No, I mean, he's still Finn Balor. And I mean, listen, if he loses every week, that's a problem. But if he loses once, it was due to interference, which, I'm not super high on, but he's, protects him, I guess. It's not like he was undefeated or whatever. Like, Finn Balor's fine. So I guess you could say it's 50-50 booking, but to me, if it's done once in a while, it's okay. So, like, Finn going for the championship and losing, I was okay with that. You need competitive matches like that once in a while, because the majority of these matches, like, when was the last time the TNT title closed out Dynamite? Like, it has before, but it hasn't been in a very long time. And most people just don't care.
Ring of Honor titles have to be on Dynamite.
And that's the thing. Even those titles don't really matter. I mean, those are, either defended on Dynamite in the main event or fucking Rampage, God forbid, that no one gives a shit about at this point. So that's the problem they need to fix going forward as far as these mid-card titles. I say mid-card titles, but it's really just one championship.